Hey, welcome back everyone to Returning to Basics. This is Neal. Behind me and all around me you can see my Durana Clover food plot. And I'm about to mow it real close and overseed it again with some additional Durana Clover. I got that clover from Eagle Seed at Weiner, Arkansas. It's a Pennington brand. Durana does really well. It's very drought tolerant. Works real well in soil like this up here in the Ozarks because this is really poor soil. Even though I've amended it, I put lime on it, I have fertilized it for over 2 years. The stand that you see behind me has a pretty good bit of grasses in it, native grasses, and I'm going to mow that down to the top of the clover, let it lay, and then I'm going to come back over it and I'm going to overseed it again. It's really doing well for 2 years old. So come and go with me as we improve our clover food plot. You can see that there's really not a lot of clover in there. There's a lot of other weeds and different things. Here we're starting to get more clover. And down here you can see the white tops. There's quite a bit here, but as you can tell there's a lot of grass in here, and so I'm going to mow that down so that this clover has a better chance. I went through earlier, didn't get it on film, but I picked up a lot of rocks in here. We tend to grow rocks like this right here. We grow rocks and I throw them over into the edge. Now you can tell our clover's a lot thicker down here, closer toward the bottom of this. And right through here we make a turn. This is part of a power line right away, and from pole to pole here is where I have put out my clover for the food plot. And you can't see it, but right over there I have a stand in the edge of the woods. And then up this right away we used to have a permanent encampment at the top of the hill here, and that's why we have a power line up there. Up this hill I have a lot of Durana Clover planted as well, and so you can see that I need to mow down this. Some of it's rye, actually. You can see it right here. It's cereal rye grain, and I overseeded it last year so that it would grow up and the deer would have something. It's doing real well right up there. So I'm going to set the camera back and you can watch me as I mow and improve this power line right away clover patch. Now I'm going to reseed the Durana Clover over the top of this existing clover. Okay, there it is. After a couple of hours of mowing, this is one of our corners here where we have clover. To try and give it the best chance, I mow it like this and try to keep the other weeds down and the grasses. And it comes here to this old driveway, to this power pole, and it makes a right turn here and goes due west. And that one goes about, I believe that's 400 feet up there. And that gets us a pretty decent little food plot going there. Get the tripod set up here. So there you see it. This way and this way down to that other pole, and that's probably not 150 feet maybe at the most. This one right here is 400 feet, and it's a nice area. And I'll tell you, it takes about 2 years to get a decent stand of clover. The first year you'll plant it and it'll kind of die back and it'll discourage you and you'll think that it's all dead. Don't let that discourage you. You really need to understand that clover takes a little while to establish, and then you have a perennial crop. And see all those white crowns there, and the bees are working it over still, even though I cut a lot of it. It's probably 6 or 7 inches tall, which is a good height for white clover. So there you go. I'm glad you came along with us today. I really appreciate it. A couple of hours, 2 or 3 times a year is really worth it to make yourself a nice food plot for the wildlife. You know, you only hunt for a little while every year, but the deer and the turkey, they need this all the time. And so we're trying our best to improve the property so that they have something to eat and something to use all the time. And we're very rarely up here in it except whenever I'm maintaining it or when I might be hunting it. And so that may be a couple of days a year. Thanks again for coming along with us. God bless you. Please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to get other videos like this, leave some comments below and let us know that you like this. And let us know also what you're doing for your food plots. I kind of wonder, what are other people doing in poor hill ground up in the Ozarks and different parts like the Appalachians and around? What are you doing? What kind of food plots are you putting out? How are you amending your soil and treating your clover patches to make them work better? I really would be interested in hearing that, so leave me some comments. And the best thing you can do to help us is to share this on your social media so that we would encourage other people who are like-minded to subscribe and to be watching our videos. Thanks again for coming along. From Returning to Basics, God bless you and have a great day. Here we are out on the very outskirts and back of our property. Not to tell you anything else, because this is our little hidey hole of a clover and Durana clover and rye grain food plot. And so just wanted to show it to you, but we're not really willing to tell you the location because we're kind of keeping that to ourselves. I will tell you that down the way there, I have 4 fruit trees planted. Teresa and I put those out a couple of years ago. There's a couple of wild deer pear and a couple of Chickasaw plums. And that leads right on down through toward our creek and up toward the other end of our property. But that's enough geographical references.